What is up? Welcome to Every Single Guitars, where the goal of this channel is to review every single guitar ever made. Today is an interesting day because first off, I'm reviewing a vintage Ovation guitar. And a little bit of backstory about me. I honestly hated Ovation guitars. I've never played an old Ovation guitar, like a past 90s, but I thought that the Ovation, just the headstock design, was one of the worst designs I've ever seen, regardless of what product it is. So because of that reason, I never was interested in Ovation guitars, never even thought of buying an Ovation guitar, no matter how good the deal was. But recently, I came across a older Ovation guitar, a actually 60s Ovation guitar. And I honestly didn't even know Ovation was made in the 60s. I always knew that they were around, but I always assumed that they were not older than Fender or Gibson, which I think is still true. So I decided to pick up a 1968 Ovation Deluxe Balladeer. Very interesting guitar. Actually, on the sound hole in the paper, it says Deluce or Deluce. D-E-L-U-C-E. But when I did more research online, some people write it as Deluxe. So I don't know if it's Deluce or Deluxe, because on the headstock it says Deluxe, but on the paper it says Deluce. So I don't know why they did that. I thought that was pretty interesting. But the reason why I've never liked Ovation, apart from the headstock design, this thing is kind of questionable to me. Like really, bro? This was the best design that you guys could come up with? I respect it in the sense that they try to do something completely different from a Gibson headstock design or a Fender headstock design. Dude, but this... Dude, I really don't know what to say. It kind of reminds me of the Ernie Ball Music Man. I don't know. I really don't like that headstock either. But another thing I really did not like about Ovation guitars was this round back. Out of all the Ovation guitars that I've played, which isn't that many, the back was like a weird, plasticky feel, kind of like a plastic feel of the hard shell, of not this hard shell case, but like a Gator hard shell case, like those cheap ones. That's like the kind of feeling I had. The back on this is actually a feeling I've never felt on an Ovation guitar. This is I think this is like fiberglass. It was just like this weird round back. Like when you place the guitar on your lap, sometimes if it gets loose, the guitar falls down like this because it's literally a bowl. But I don't know, I feel like this is like Ovation's signature move, their signature thing about the guitars. Because of those things, this weird oval back and this weird headstock design, I've actually never really liked Ovation. But for this specific guitar, like I said, the headstock is still questionable to me, but I'm actually very impressed with how this guitar plays and how it feels and how a guitar should feel in your hands. Just from a first impression standpoint, this guitar feels of very high quality. I don't get the sense that this is a cheap guitar. On some parts of the guitar, especially the neck, I feel like it may be comparable to some Martin necks. Just like the neck just feels very smooth, it's well carved out, it's very solid, and it also has this interesting double skunk stripe feature on the back, which I've actually never seen on an acoustic guitar. I've only seen this on electrics, like a Fender Strat or a Tele. Some of the models have a skunk stripe on the back, but this has 2 skunk stripes, which I thought was very interesting. Another thing that I really liked about this guitar is the tuners. I don't know what tuners these are, but these are the original tuners that came with the guitar. And this tuner design really reminds me of a older Gibson tuner, like a 70s or 80s, Les Paul Custom. They have a tuner shape exactly or similar to this. But just from the tuner quality, dude, this is very high quality metal or steel or whatever they used. When you tune the guitars, I think this is one of the firmest tuning feelings, if that even makes sense, that I've ever held on a guitar, which I thought was pretty surprising because, like I said, I've never liked the Ovation, and I always thought that their guitars were cheaper type guitars. But then I've seen David Gilmour, who is my guitar hero, play an Ovation, and dude, I really did not know what to think about that. I mean, I didn't even know he played or owned an Ovation, but I guess you learn something new a day. Another interesting thing that I really liked about this Ovation, surprisingly, is just the quality of the neck. I mean, you guys can't tell because you guys can't feel it, but dude, this neck is like a very slim, like U-shaped style neck. It's like, you know, it's like a neck that I've actually never felt on an acoustic. You know, I felt some that were a little bit slimmer, some maybe a little bit thicker, but this exact profile neck I've actually never felt on a guitar, and I actually really like this. So let's see how this guitar sounds. Dude, surprisingly, I feel like I use that word a lot in this video, but this guitar actually sounds very, very good. First impression for the tone, this is actually my first time playing it for more than 5 minutes, but it's a very bright and surprisingly loud sounding guitar. It doesn't sound bright like a Taylor, where sometimes I feel like certain Taylor models, they're just too bright for my ears. Definitely does not sound like a Martin. It has a very unique tone to the guitar, and I don't know if it's because of, like I said, this bowl type shape on the back or this material that they use. This is definitely not wood. It's like a completely black plastic type color. The top of the guitar is a wood, but I don't know what specific wood they used, but it's a very loud and bright guitar. Actually, this guitar sounds very, very good, which is like kind of blowing my mind because of how much I hated Ovation. But at the same time, like I said, I've never played a vintage Ovation like this. It was always like the back that just feels like really weird plastic and like a cheap piece of like pickup attached to the top. I just hated Ovation. Actually, all the Ovations I've played, I don't think I've played a wood Ovation. It was always like a solid black color or something like that, which actually makes me wonder why I've never seen a wood Ovation. Huh, that's weird. But regardless, just from a guitar standpoint, you know, if you were buying a guitar to play the guitar, this is a very, very good guitar to play. I mean, the neck is very slim, it's very easy to play. I don't know how this person set it up, but the action is very low. This is actually the lowest action I've played on an acoustic. So it's very easy to play, but since it's kind of low, it buzzes on the higher registers. right here a little bit. Right here. '68 Ovation Deluce or Deluxe Balladeer. Still don't really fuck with this headstock design, but this specific guitar is actually not bad at all. Very impressed.